Yesterday, on Swami Vivekananda's birthday, I had a chance to receive Prabuddha Bharata or Awaken India, that is the January 2024 issue, and this particular issue has been devoted on Advaita mysticism. I am trying to share it, just a small portion of it, in YouTube. The article I am going to read, a portion only possible, Dimensions of Mystical Experience by Swami Bhajanananda ji Maharaj, one of the present Vice President of Ramakrishna Order. I am going to read out from this article a portion only. What is mysticism is. What mysticism is. There is nothing mysterious about mysticism. It means direct transcendental experience, known in India as aparaksha anubhuti. In Hinduism and all the other religions which originated in India, this aparaksha anubhuti is regarded as the natural ultimate goal of all people. A human being's true nature is the Atman. It is ignorance of this truth that is the cause of bondage to the wheel of samsara, and this ignorance can be removed only through the direct mystical realization of God. So, everyone is expected to strive for the direct realization of God. Hence, mysticism is regarded as a natural way of life and belongs to the mainstream of Hinduism. In Christianity, Islam, and other religions which originated in the Middle East, the attainment of heaven is regarded as the ultimate goal of life, and it is held that the attainment of heaven is possible for all people who have true faith in God and who lead a moral life. Direct mystical experience is not an essential condition for the attainment of heaven. Therefore, mysticism remains only as a side road in these religions. Nevertheless, these Abrahamic religions produced a large number of great saints, many of whom claim to have direct mystical experience of God. But although the number of these mystics is not small, mysticism is at best only a branch road in these religions, whereas mysticism forms the main road in Hinduism and other Indian religions. It is often held that although religions of the world show great diversity in their outer expressions, they have a transcendental unity in mysticism. That is to say, the transcendental experiences of mystics in different religions are basically the same. On this point, Swami Vivekananda was himself one of the greatest mystics, has stated, mystics in every religion speak the same tongue and teach the same truth. The well-known German theologian Rudolf Otto wrote, "It is often claimed that mysticism is the same in all ages and in all places, that it is timeless and independent of history. It has always been identical. East and the West and other differences vanish here. Whether the flower of mysticism blooms in India or China, in Persia or on the Rhine, its fruit is same. However, it is well known that the experiences of mystics of different religions, even on the same religion, show irreducible differences. The mystical experiences of Saint Teresa and Mirabai, the mystical experiences of Shankara and Eckhart, the Saint John of Cross and Tukaram are not the same. According to some scholars, these differences can be explained on the basis of the differences in the cultures of those mystics, but this view is hardly convincing. Types of mysticism. Mysticism is generally classified into three types: soul-centered mysticism, God-centered mysticism, and nature-centered mysticism. In the first type, to which Indian religions belong, the emphasis is on the realizing the Atman, popularly known as the soul. God is looked upon as the Paramatman or Supreme Self. In God-centered mysticism, to which Christianity, Islam, and other religions of the Middle East belong, importance is given wholly to God, and hardly any attempt is made to describe the real nature of the soul. Regarding these two types of mysticism, Swami Vivekananda stated, "In studying the religions of the world, we generally find two methods of procedure. The one is the God, one is from God to me. That is it to say, we have the Semitic group of religions in which the idea of God comes almost from the very first, and strangely enough, without any idea of the soul. It is very remarkable amongst the ancient Hebrews that until very recent periods in their history, they never evolved any idea of human soul. But on the other hand, there is the most wonderful idea of God, evolved by the same race. This is one of the methods of procedure. The other is through man to God. The second is peculiarly Aryan, and the first is peculiarly Semitic. Quotation over from Swami Vivekananda. In Indian religions, even when they are God-centered, God and soul are of the same nature and inseparably connected. By contrast, in the religions of the Middle East, God is the wholly other. God is the creator and the soul is the soul is the creature, and so there cannot be any inseparable relationship between them. Reading again, God is the creator and the soul is the creature, and so there cannot be any inseparable relationship between them. We have seen that mysticism is the three kinds. First two types have been described above. Third type is nature mysticism. In the Karma Kando part of the Vedas, there are several beautiful descriptions of nature. In the Upanishads also, there are sublime passages which describe the immanence of Brahma in nature. In the story of Jabala, Satyakama, his guru gave him charge of 400 lean cows and told him not to return until they were 1,000. Satyakama looked after the cows well and through their service attained Brahmogyan. According to Swami Vivekananda, the moral of the story is that Satyakama attained higher realization through communion with nature. In the Chandogya Upanishad, there occurs the sublime passage. The earth appears to be meditating, the atmosphere appears to be meditating, the sky appears to be meditating, the waters appear to be meditating, the mountains appear to be meditating, the human gods appear to be meditating. Quotation over. Sri Ramakrishna used to speak of a sadhu in Rishikesh who used to remain looking at a waterfall from morning till evening and then return to his hut. Eventually, the sadhu's life was elevated by nature mysticism. Sri Ramakrishna himself had a wonderful nature mystical experience in his boyhood. One day he was walking along the fields with dark clouds above him. Just then a flock of white cranes flew in a row across the dark cloud. The sublime sight threw boy Ramakrishna's mind into ecstasy and he fell down, losing his external consciousness. Nature mysticism as a spiritual path was mainly developed by Taoism and Chan Buddhism in China and by Jain Buddhism in Japan. So reading goes like that. Mysticism in Hinduism. Jacques de Marquet, in his book An Introduction to Comparative Mysticism, states that all the different types of mysticism are found in Hinduism, and if Hindu mysticism is studied, there no need to study mysticism in different religions. Vedic mysticism. Hindu mysticism begins with the Vedas. Vedas are traditionally divided into 4 parts called mantra, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. The mantra portion consists of hymns addressed to various Vedic gods. The Brahmana portion discusses various kinds of fire rituals. Aranyaka deal with various kinds of mental meditations, and the Upanishads record the mystical experiences of various rishis. Of these four parts, the first two parts are taken together to constitute a single division known as Karma Kanda, and the last two parts are taken together to form a second division known as Jnana Kanda. Western scholars like Max Muller, Griffith, Julius Egling, and others who were the first to translate the Vedas into English showed that most of the hymns of Karmakanda are worthless. It is, of course, true that there are a few unprintable verses in the Vedas, but there also are verses which contain deep mystical meaning. Many years ago, Dayananda Saraswati, Sri Aurobindo, and other Indian scholars tried to bring out the mystic meaning of the hymns. In recent years, the British scholar Jenny Miller and Dutch scholar Jan Gonda have tried to bring out the mystic significance of the hymns of the so-called Karmakanda. When we come to the Upanishads, the mystical significance of almost all the passages is quite obvious. Some of the chief spiritual or mystical ideas found in the Upanishads and other Hinduism scriptures are summarized below. Human beings' true self is pure consciousness known as the Atman, which is different from the mind. The Atman is a part of identical with an infinitude of consciousness known as Brahma, from which the whole universe has come. It is possible to directly realize this Atman Brahma, and by the realization of this truth, one can attain everlasting freedom and peace. There are several paths by which the ultimate truth can be discovered. The guidance and blessings of a guru are essential for the attainment of this knowledge. Knowledge is of two kinds: apara, empirical, and para, transcendental. Apara jnana includes intellectual knowledge of the scriptures, whereas para jnana is that by which we attain the supreme goal of human life. Karma, human labor, produces certain unseen transcendental effects which determine our future births. Spiritual matters not revealed through the Upanishads are revealed through another great work known as the Bhagavad Gita. Apart from the above, the different sects such as Vaishnavism, Shaivism, and Shaktaism have their own scriptures. In fact, mystical literature in Hinduism consists of thousands of texts, only a small part of which has been published. Hinduism includes two kinds of dharmas, pravritti dharma and nivritti dharma, two margas or highways to mukti, and four yogas. Different kinds of mysticism are associated with all these pathways. In fact, the mysticism traditions of Hinduism are so vast that no person can ever hope to know the whole of them. Every religion of India has produced many saints and mystics. Their teachings also constitute a major part of a unimaginably vast spiritual knowledge that Hinduism holds for the spiritual and material welfare of humanity. So it goes like that. Let me try to conclude. Lastly, I am trying to conclude with Sri Ramakrishna's message of harmony, the end portion of this article. A few things I have skipped. We have seen that every world religion has produced great mystics, and every religion has its own mystical tradition. I am reading the paragraph with the heading Sri Ramakrishna's message of harmony. What the world needed was a spiritually illuminated world teacher who could harmonize the varied mystical experiences and establish the spiritual idea in modern times. This need was fulfilled by Sri Ramakrishna. He did not attempt to establish a new religion, as Swami Vivekananda stated in his famous two talks on My Master. He, that is Sri Ramakrishna, left every religion undisturbed because he had realized that in reality they are all part and parcel of one eternal religion. Quotation over. The great work that Sri Ramakrishna did was to establish the unity of ultimate reality and to show that every religion is a pathway to it. The ultimate truth is one. The ultimate truth must be one. But, as Swamiji has pointed out, that ultimate truth may be expressed in different ways. Truth cannot be relative, but its expressions can be relative. The paths to ultimate truth are many, and these paths are all valid in so far as they lead to the same ultimate truth. Sri Ramakrishna established the unity of the ultimate truth not through speculation or through reasoning, but through direct mystical experience. When he said, Jatomat Tatopath, by path, he meant the mystical path, actual sadhana. Sri Ramakrishna revalidated the mystical paths of different religions and showed that the realization of any of those mystical paths is the goal of human life. As the great Mahatma Gandhiji stated in his foreword to the book Life of Sri Ramakrishna, his life enables us to see God face to face. No one can read the story of his life without being convinced that God alone is real. Om Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.